group of people that I know, even when I'm down, to have my back. When you're down, I'm gonna have your back. Alright? So let's go out here.
I think when the prosecution gets to redirect, we're going to see them try to link the violence that happened later in the act relationship to her participation and make the argument still that she was being coerced the whole time Diddy is eyeing his attorney on his right. Tenny. Immediately after Tenny gets up to do the opening statements, it appeared that she had white nail polish on. The prosecutors did file a letter to the court earlier this morning because they feel like Diddy's team is purposely trying to go for a mistrial, believed that Diddy's attorneys were trying to push Cassie's cross-examination into next week, and if she does go into labor, the judge will be forced to call a mistrial in a trial already steeped in controversy, tension and disturbing allegations. The courtroom of Shaw Diddy Combs' federal case has witnessed yet another explosive moment. This time, it wasn't the testimonies or the evidence that grabbed headlines, it was the behavior of one of Diddy's own defense attorneys. A tense verbal clash between the defense and prosecution resulted in a rare and public scolding by the presiding judge, drawing fresh scrutiny to the conduct of Diddy's legal team, and adding yet another twist in a case that's becoming one of the most watched legal battles in the entertainment industry. Mom just finished testifying. It was really short and quick because Diddy's side decided not to question her, and in 15 minutes of her testimony, she confirmed years of abuse, fear, and blackmail, including a moment where she and her husband had to take out a home equity loan because they feared what Diddy would do to their daughter. Regina testified that she met Diddy in 2006 when Cassie signed to Bad Boy Records. Regina said that Diddy was Cassie's boss, then her boyfriend, and in her own words, then her abuser. Regina was asked to read an email that Cassie had sent to her on December of 2011, and she read it aloud to the jury as he wrote to her mom saying, "The threats that have been made towards me by Sean Puffy Combs are that he is going to release 2 explicit X-tapes of me, one on Christmas Day, maybe before or right after, and another one sometime soon after that. He has also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Scott, Miss Cuddy, who is Kid Cudi, physically. He made a point that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said he'd be out of the country when it happened." Then there is this picture. It's a small alleged container of cocaine. The government found it with a rolled up dollar bill next to it. That cocaine has a label on it that says DBL. Wash agents also found this green locked heavy-duty container. It says Diddy right across the front, and then this picture shows what it appears they found inside, which includes 2 large bags of marijuana. Along with the bags of drugs and the adult toys that agents found during this raid, they also found several weapons. Inside the Homa, there's also a magazine and bullets that appear to go with that style of firearm. Then there are pieces to AR-15 rifles. Like this, the government says the serial numbers on those guns, this one with a skull and crossbones on it, have been defaced. Then there's another AR-15. That one has a biohazard logo on it that also has a defaced serial number, according to the special agent who took the stand. Adding to the mounting drama, explosive testimonies from Diddy's former employees and associates have begun to paint a troubling picture behind the scenes. Among the most emotionally charged moments came when the mother of singer Cassie, whose past relationship with Diddy has become central to many of the allegations, took the stand, her voice trembling as she recounted what she described as years of quiet suffering her daughter endured. Former bodyguards, assistants, and even members of Diddy's management team have come forward with stories of intimidation, surveillance, and what one ex-employee called a culture of fear within his inner circle. These revelations are casting a long shadow over the defense's attempts to control the narrative, and with each new witness, the trial veers deeper into a complex web of power, misconduct, and celebrity influence. We have some eminent attorneys joining us who disagree about what's going to happen here. And I guess it's going to come down to what a jury thinks of how much of this was consensual or how much was non-consensual, or indeed stroke coercive. And A.A. Lotta may rest, of course, on Cassie Ventura's testimony. How do you think she did? Obviously she's heavily pregnant, which must have made it a very difficult experience for her, but how much of her testimony do you think, if you're a juror listening to all this? Well, you know, one of the things I want to point out is none of us maybe your commentators were, but I certainly wasn't in the courtroom to hear what she had to say. You know, this is a situation in the federal court where they do not allow cameras, so we can't see her testimony and see her body language and hear her tone of voice and that sort of thing. So what we have is commentators who sees on certain things she said, certain things she fails to say, and then try to make a mountain out of it. Let's remember that in a lawsuit, you know, you don't win a case up based on one witness or one piece of evidence. Typically you're building a wall, and one of the things they teach you in law school is a brick is not a wall. Cassiventure's testimony is one brick in what I expect to be a very long trial with a lot of bricks attempting to build a wall. We have a brand new evidence drop from the government as they make their case in trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. These are new pictures from inside Combs' Miami mansion from when it was raided by federal agents. In March 2024, from risque adult toys and high heels to guns, ammo, and drugs, Shao Diddy Combs is currently facing a series of grave federal charges, including trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. These charges stem from long-standing allegations of abusive, manipulative, and criminal behavior that have spanned decades. At the heart of this legal firestorm is Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, whose harrowing testimony has painted a chilling picture of emotional manipulation, coercion, and repeated acts of violence. Her story has been supported by several corroborating witnesses, including former staff, close friends, and even her own mother, Gina. Said that Cassie came home to Connecticut that Christmas and she had bruises on her back thigh and shoulder. He said, "I wanted to make sure we memorialized it, and she took photos of these injuries." Gina said Diddy then demanded $20,000 from her and her husband to recoup the losses because of Cassie's relationship with Kid Kai. So they took out a home equity loan and they wired the money to a bad boy record account. He said, "I did it because I was scared for my daughter's safety." But 4 or 5 days later, the money was returned to her with no explanation in August of 2016. She said she visited Cassie in LA for her 30th birthday. She said that night, Diddy stole Cassie's phone in a bitter argument outside of her apartment. Regina testified that Diddy's security truck was standing between her and Diddy. She said, "I was yelling, screaming, and trying to hit him." He said eventually Diddy returned Cassie's phone, but then he took her car. He was also asked if she had called the police during this time, and she said yes. And that was all with the questioning. When Diddy's side was asked if they wanted to do a cross-examination, they said no, and that was all. But beyond Ventra's testimony, this case has begun to unravel a potentially much broader web of mistreatment, cover-ups, and industry-enabling behaviors. The FBI has been deeply involved in the investigation, and reports suggest that the inquiry has stretched beyond Diddy himself, pulling in names and associates across the entertainment spectrum. What is your reaction to how the defense is approaching this so far? So Brianna, we expected this, we know. From the opening statement from the defense, a big part of their case is trying to get this jury to believe that Cassie Ventura was a consenting adult in these acts. These that we've heard so much about during her direct testimony. So a lot of what the defense has been doing today during this cross-examination is showing text messages and getting Cassie Ventura to acknowledge that according to these text messages, she was a willing participant in some of these free. But one of the things that we haven't done or haven't heard yet, Brianna, is the connection between those text messages in the early stages of the relationship and the violence that we heard so much about during the direct testimony yesterday. And I think when the prosecution gets to redirect, we're going to see them try to link the violence that happened later in the purportedly relationship to her participation and make the argument still that she was being coerced into these commercial acts with escorts, despite how she may have felt about Sean Diddy Combs in the beginning of their relationship. During a recent court session, the growing tension between the defense and prosecution boiled over Brian Steele, one of Diddy's
that I must say you must try from the pregame with that Ciroc dog. He puts me in a smooth mood, makes me start really
lead attorneys and a seasoned trial lawyer known for his aggressive defense tactics became visibly combative during a line of questioning by federal prosecutors. "You sir, you allow another moment. When Miss Love calls me that I did not do something, they have the exact image of what we got from the jail in Pye County. That is it. And if I get another false allegation and you do nothing, I'm shocked. I'm appalled at you. I sit here day after day with this false allegation, just machine. I gave the state everything. There's not been no disconstruction. There's been no purposeful. I don't care. I don't care. I give over everything. I've done this for 33 years. Never in my life have I seen a trial. I've done 300 appeals in the state of Georgia. I've never read a case like this, Judge. I gave them everything. I waited. I was at my office till 8 after 8 last night, waited for their investigator to come by. I handed him an exact copy of thumb drive bin. No deconstruction. There's been no purposeful exclusion. This is not the first time, and I apologize that I'm getting tempered. But I've never been treated like this. You talk about professionalism every week. Professionalism is lacking with one lawyer, here it has never been. I don't even like coming to court. I used to love this, I would die for what we do. I used to say I'm dying, I would die. I couldn't choose a better profession. If I had litigate with Miss Love, I would. Can we strike? Can we? Okay, yeah, everybody? Calm down everybody. Both of you say, both of you please be seated. Judge, I'm not. Both of you please be seated. You have to do something. Court observers reported that Steele interrupted proceedings multiple times using a confrontational tone and dismissive body language. This behavior quickly derailed the courtroom's decorum and provoked the intervention of Judge Aaron Supermonian. The judge, clearly displeased, paused the session to sternly rebuke Steele. Judge Supermonian declared, "This is a court of law, not a stage council. You will respect the process or risk sanctions." Steele appeared momentarily stunned, but continued to argue his position before ultimately relenting under the judge's pressure. Legal analysts have noted that such public disciplinary actions are rare in federal courtrooms, underscoring the seriousness with which the judge views maintaining decorum and fairness. In a case of this magnitude, Miss Love would come in and say that juror was crying. It was not true. You would say, "That's not my recollection." After I said it, you did nothing. We start the case. I ask you please, Mr. Steele, how would you feel if you were being treated? Mr. Steele, I'd like to finish. Mr. Steele, I gave them everything on that drive, and it's continual abuse of a prosecutor of another member of the bar. I don't talk with Miss Love, and that's fine. I like that, but Judge, I'm not going to stand here anymore. I don't care. You could take my bar card. Mr. Steele, I'm not trying. I'm not listening, but there's, and Mr. Williams. You know, to me, this is an innocent man. You talk about. Miss Love said there's a man in a Fulton County jail. He shouldn't be there. Mr. Cop, Mr. Williams shouldn't be in custody, but he's been charged, and we come here for a fair trial. Though this moment might seem like a minor footnote in a sprawling legal battle, its implications are very-acting. For one, the jury tasked with weighing both the evidence and the credibility of the parties involved witnessed a breakdown in professional conduct. Any perceived misconduct by the defense can potentially influence how the jury interprets their overall case presentation. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that? Well, I'm going to disturb to you. Got 5 minutes? Well, you know I don't need it. I want to continue. Mr. Steele, I am going to hold you under still hold you in summary, criminal contempt. This has actually turned into a pretty central part of the prosecution's case. So the allegations that make the drug use particularly relevant are that this is one way that Combs exerted control over both Cass Ventura and potentially other victims as well. We haven't heard from them yet, but part of the way that he was able to make Cassie compliant during these freak-offs, we learned this from her testimony, is through the use of drugs. So Cassie testified that for many of the freak-offs she was high. She was given a number of different narcotics. We had other witnesses that came in and testified about seeing her, laying on a bed, appearing to be under the influence of some sort of drugs. So this was what we're seeing now as a pattern of Combs being able to, in some instances, control her through many different ways, but one of the central ways that we've heard testimony about is through these drugs. Additionally, this incident has fueled public discourse around the courtroom. Behavior of high-profile defense teams in cases involving celebrity defendants. Defense attorneys often adopt aggressive strategies to challenge the prosecution and protect their clients' public image, but there is a fine line between assertiveness and disrespect for the legal process. We also have some new pictures of Ventura. This is one of her with Don Richard, who's the former Danny Kaine member who testified this week that she had witnessed Combs assault Cassie multiple times. In this picture, you see Cassie on the right. Richard testified that Cassie wore glasses to hide the swelling after Combs allegedly hit her in the face. This was in New York in 2009. Other pictures show some of the injuries that the government alleges Cassie suffered at the hands of the now disgraced music mogul. We are blurring the bruises in these pictures. These are sensitive images about a sensitive topic, and also because of the rules of YouTube now. We see in this image here, there is a bruise on Cassie's leg. We have another picture where there's a small bruise on her shoulder. This is a picture that shows Ventura with a dark bruise that's below her waistline. All of these have been already presented to the jury. This isn't the first time Diddy's legal team has faced criticism. In an earlier civil case involving similar allegations, attorney Tyrone Blackburn was rebuked by Judge Paul Oatkin for courtroom filings filled with inaccurate statements of law and inappropriate ad hominem attacks, even warned Blackburn that further misconduct could lead to sanctions or disciplinary action. Legal experts note that while such aggressive tactics may stem from the pressure of defending a high-profile client, They risk undermining the defense's credibility and distracting from the core facts of the case. Employees, former assistants, former musicians, everyone within the Diddy orbit all have testified they witnessed violence, they saw it on multiple occasions, and yet they did nothing, and this spans years. Right, Cassie is with him, but all of these people, these bystanders, are watching. It happens, seeing it occur, and still either continue to do business with Diddy, or stay in his orbit. In a more sensational turn, a male escort named Shrey Hayes testified that he was frequently flown in for Fausse code, allegedly used by Diddy Circle, for private parties. Hayes described graphic scenes involving high-profile guests and confirmed the use of a specific brand of lubricant that federal agents say was seized, photographed, and logged as evidence during the raid on Diddy's Miami villa. Shrey Hayes, in his line of work, he went by the name The Punisher. He laid out what he said happened during freak-offs. He was allegedly hired to be part of. He claimed that Combs entered the room in an instance, only wearing what seemed like a Muslim hijab, carrying a straw glide. The Punisher said he noticed it because of the purple cap, which we do see in the government evidence photos, and he explained that it was lubricant. He also said he had no communication with Combs during as he wore allegedly that veil over his face, and nothing more. The government is also submitting several images that showed drugs that were seized from the house in Miami. Here's a picture of some of that evidence laying on top of a Gucci designer bag. This is a picture of a Ziploc bag that has several different kinds of pills, as some of them are pink, white, blue. There's also a rolled up $100 bill right next to that bag. In another plastic bag, there are more pills. These seem to be two separate kinds as well. Some are white, some are yellow, then there are orange and pink pills you see.
I'm locking in, you know what I'm saying? I'm dialing in right now. And I'm about to go on a sip.
Hear that according to the Homeland Security Special Agent who is testifying today, that's the party drug MDMA. It's similar to ecstasy. This is according to the Homeland Security Special Agent who testified today about what they saw in Miami during this raid. Now we don't get descriptions, and the evidence drops to tell you exactly what these pills are. But when it comes to drugs, Combs' former assistant, David James, testified this week that Diddy allegedly took drugs every day. When he worked for him specifically throughout the day, he would take Percoats and then switch to ecstasy at night. Unsurprisingly, the incident has sparked a frenzy on social media and legal talk shows. Hashtags like Diddy trial and Brian Steele began trending shortly after reports surfaced. Public opinion remains deeply divided. Some viewers sympathize with the defense's difficult position and view the judge's response as overly harsh. Others believe the reprimand was well-deserved, citing the need for fairness and civility in such a sensitive and high-profile case. Let me read you parts of her opening statement. It's time for me to introduce you to him. His name is Sean Combs, and at this point I almost peed myself because Sean Diddy stands up and it's like kind of abrupt, like I wasn't expecting him to stand up. It almost feels like maybe because he was so statuesque the whole day he forgot how his limbs moved, and then he just like shot up out of his chair like a little rocket heading into space, or it feels kind of like a military roll call, just like shoots up, back straight, posture straight. She's like this. His name is Sean Combs. You may have heard of him by Puff Puff Daddy P Diddy Puffy Diddy, but standing in this courtroom at 55 years old in the same place he was born and raised, he's going by the same name. He was born with Sean Combs. Media outlets from The Times to AP News and Page 6 have picked up the story, further amplifying its reach. Legal commentators from Court TV and CNN Legal have also weighed in, warning that such disruptions could draw unwanted attention from judicial oversight bodies and potentially affect future proceedings.